Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Presidency commends Efcc over outstanding transformation. Senate confirms Judge Amit Putong as INEC chairman. Plus, Zelensky to make case for missiles at White House after Putin agree on meeting. Details of the stories and more in just a moment. Our first report this morning is that the Presidency has commended the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) for what it described as an outstanding transformation since its inception, lauding the agency's growth into a leading anti-corruption institution. In a statement shared on X by EFCC, the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination and Head of Central Result Delivery Coordination Unit, Hadiza Bala Usman, gave the commendation when she led a delegation to present the performance charter of the Commission to the EFCC Executive Chairman Ola Olukayode at the agency's headquarters in Abuja. Usman said the visit formed part of the Presidency's effort to strengthen performance monitoring and accountability across government institutions. Regarding the performance indicators of the Commission, she explained that the Central Result Delivery Coordination Unit developed the EFCC Performance Charter through engagement with experts who provided the requisite knowledge, tools and technical support from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, as well as a partnership for agile governance and climate engagement. According to her, the document outlines targets, baseline data and measurable indicators for assessing the Commission's performance on a monthly, quarterly and annual basis. It is expected to serve as a framework for monitoring and evaluating the EFCC's performance on its mandate as well as its local and international obligations. Away from that, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice has clarified that no inmate approved for clemency under the recent exercise of President Bola Tinubu's power of prerogative of mercy has been released from custody. The clarification comes amid widespread debates following President Tinubu's recent exercise of the prerogative of mercy for selected inmates. The Office of the AGF said the process remains at the final administrative stage, which includes a standard review to ensure that all names and recommendations fully comply with established legal and procedural requirements before any instrument of release is issued. A statement personally signed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, said it was important to note that the last stage of the exercise, after approval by the Council of State, is the issuance of the instrument for the implementation of the decision concerning each beneficiary. He noted that the verification process is part of standard protocol and reflects the government's commitment to transparency and due diligence. Last week, President Tinubu announced presidential pardon to one of Nigeria's founding fathers, Herbert Macaulay, and former FCT minister in the Babangida regime, retired Major General Maman Vessa. In the meantime, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to advancing inclusive education and expanding learning opportunities for disadvantaged girls across Nigeria. She also called for the adoption of a sign language into schools to bridge educational gaps and ensure that girls with disabilities are not left behind. Professor Ahmed noted that the decision reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to inclusive education, the rights of persons with disabilities, and the belief that every girl can thrive when given the right support and opportunities. She urged the training of more sign language interpreters, the introduction of sign language across teacher training curricula, and the equipping of classrooms with tools to support visual gestural communication. Let's move now to the Red Chambers, where the Senate has stepped down the Electoral Act Repeal and Amendment Bill 2025 after an extensive debate on its general principles. The Red Chamber said it took the action to allow for wider consultation and deeper scrutiny of its provisions. The proposed legislation seeks to repeal the Electoral Act 2022 and reenact a new law aimed at delivering a stronger, more credible and inclusive electoral framework for Nigeria. It also proposes innovations such as digital registers of results, QR-coded voter identification cards, and stricter timelines for party primaries and result transmission. Leading the debate on the bill, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Simon Lalong, explained that the 2023 general election had tested Nigeria's democracy in profound ways. In the meantime, the Senate has confirmed George Amibutong as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Amibutong, a professor of law, was confirmed by the upper chamber after his screening. His confirmation came after over 2 hours of questioning by senators who pressed him on how he plans to restore credibility to Nigeria's electoral process and implement meaningful reforms within the commission. Recall that the 58-year-old Don was nominated by President Bola Tinubu and received formal endorsement from a National Council of State last week. Meanwhile, Professor George Amibutang has said that he will carry out a general audit of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, especially the logistics for conduct of the 2023 general elections, to unravel the challenges of the Electoral Management Board and provide suitable solutions in collaboration with relevant stakeholders. Amibutang disclosed this during his screening at the Committee of Whole by the Senate. Quoting from a ruling of the Supreme Court, Amibutang said that the use of INEC's result viewing portal is not a part of the results coalition system of the Commission. He further said that there is a need for an Electoral Offences Commission to help investigate and prosecute electoral offences. We move now to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives Accord Committee investigating abandoned Federal Road project in Calabar and across the South has summoned the Managing Director of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, Chukwuemeka Agbebasi, to appear before it over the worsening condition of federal roads in the region. The resolution was read during the committee's inaugural sitting, chaired by Edo lawmaker Billy Osawaru, following an unsatisfactory presentation by FEMA Director Usman Mohammed. Osawaru described the situation as a national embarrassment and a major obstacle to economic growth, as Mohammed told the lawmakers that FEMA had awarded a 158 road contract in Cross River State between 2010 and 2025 worth 16.9 billion naira. But the committee faulted the submission for lacking clarity on contractor performance, project timelines, and accountability measures. Consequently, the lawmakers directed Agbabasi to appear in person with detailed documentation on all projects, including progress report, challenges and steps taken to address failures. Let's move now to Africa, where UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has condemned the recent unconstitutional change of government in Madagascar. He further called for an immediate restoration of constitutional order and respect for the rule of law. In a statement delivered by UN spokesman Stephen Duraki, the Secretary General expressed his support for the decision of the African Union Peace and Security Council to suspend Madagascar from participating in all activities of the African Union and its affiliated institutions until constitutional order is reinstated. The Secretary General urged all stakeholders in Madagascar, including the youth, to unite in addressing the root causes of country's political instability. He also reaffirmed the United Nations commitment to supporting Madagascar's national effort to achieve stability in cooperation with the African Union, the Southern African Development Committee, and other international partners. On the foreign scene, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington today as Trump weighs whether to arm Ukraine with Tomahawk missiles capable of striking deep into Russia. Their meeting comes a day after Trump said great progress was made during a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, with the pair agreeing to face-to-face talks in Hungary. Trump said the call, the first with Putin since mid-August, was very productive, also adding that teams from Washington and Moscow will meet next week. Still on the foreign scene, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that he is determined to secure the return of dead hostages still in Gaza, and that the country will continue to fight terrorism with full force. Netanyahu made the comment hours after Hamas returned the bodies of 2 more hostages, but said it was not able to access the remaining 19. Still to come in the news. FIFA confirms Nigeria's participation in Africans playoff ahead of 2026 World Cup. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. This news will Many thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has revealed that Nigeria is not among Africa's fastest growing economies, as countries such as Benin Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Rwanda and Uganda continue to lead the continent's growth trajectory in the world. The IMF said the 5 countries are now among the world's fastest expanding economies, buoyed by sustained policy reforms, improved fiscal management and investment in their infrastructure and manufacturing. The director of the IMF's African Department, Abebe Selassie disclosed these during the launch of Sub-Saharan Africa's latest regional economic outlook at a press briefing. Still in business, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, has said that Nigeria is developing a new framework to enable the use of national currencies in bilateral trade settlement. Speaking at a press briefing at the IMF/World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C., Cardoso explained that while the country had previously experimented with local currency trade agreement, the initiative did not yield the desired results. He said the central bank was taking a more cautious and structured approach this time to ensure that future local currency trade agreements deliver mutual benefit and reduce dependency on foreign exchange in cross-border transactions. In health, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency says its latest monitoring shows high water levels along the part of the River Niger and River Benue, with a possibility of flooding in Kogi, Anambra, and Delta State. NIHSA also predicted potential flooding in Benue, Adamawa, Niger, and Bayelsa State. The agency added that a recent assessment of water quality during flood evaluation exercises revealed contamination in some shallow wells caused by flood water intrusion. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of NIHSA, Umar Mohammed, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja. He advised residents in flood-prone areas to remain vigilant and follow official advisories. I'm afraid this is how far we can go today on the news. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emedion James, and you've been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of your day and happy weekend.